Have we found a local bottom for real estate prices here in Toronto? Or are prices set to go down further in 2025? We're going to answer those questions and that much more in this market update video. Before we start, please like this channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also comment below. It really helps the YouTube algorithms. All right, shall we dive into April 2025 numbers? So this is typically the start of the spring market. So this is where we start to see increase in activity and sales volumes increase, and typically prices increase. This is typically what we would see in a normal real estate market. However, let's be real, we're not in a normal real estate market right now in Toronto. We're a little bit of a state of flux. Now, this is a snapshot at the end of April. And if you recall, we just finished, or the federal election was decided at the end of April. And so there was a little bit of flux and turmoil. And actually, real estate was a very hot topic for this past election. So anyways, that had certainly an impact, I think, on buyer confidence. And buyer confidence is a big proponent in terms of seeing market activity. Like what I've noticed is that there's been a lot of buyers on the sidelines, and buyers are just not as confident as they were perhaps a year or two ago. And for all valid reasons, right? Like we're talking about perhaps the economy is slowing down. Are we going into a recession? Are we in a recession? Tariffs with the United States, like that's been a really big bone of contention with a lot of buyers, which is fair. And it's actually interesting, as a side note, I have talked more about tariffs to clients in 2025 than I did about the financial crisis in 2008 to clients back then. And like, to be real, like the financial crisis in 2008 was far bigger of a deal than tariffs, right? In the grand scheme of things from a global economy, right? I mean, tariffs are, I don't want to get into too political, but like, they're a made up thing, and that, all of a sudden the United States started raising tariffs around the world, and it certainly affected us here in Canada and lots of economies around the world. But anyways, I'm going to pause that discussion, but I just find that kind of interesting anecdotally. Okay, so sales volume is down. We're down 23% year over year. And if you remember, last year was actually when we recorded this last year, this video, April 2024 was the second lowest April volume on record. And the first one was April 2020, which was peak COVID started. And that's when really there was a huge pause in the marketplace. Now we're down over last April's numbers. So volumes are really, really down. And that goes down to basically what I was just talking about, where buyer confidence is quite low, and the market's on pause. Effectively, that is what's happening. Buyers are pausing, and they're just waiting to see. And frankly, it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of question marks happening right now with not only our economy but real estate prices. Okay, so active listings, unsurprisingly, is up. We're up 54%. Okay, so this looks certainly a lot more alarming than it really is, but it's not surprising that it's up, right? Like, there are sellers that want to sell and buyers are on the sidelines. So what's going to happen? Inventory is going to rise, right? So that's typically what happens. And this is exactly what we're seeing. So what does that mean? Buyers have a lot more choice, particularly in the condo market. There's a ton of choice for buyers, right? Buyers are at a huge advantage for condos. I mean, it really depends on the market that you're looking to buy in. Like, certainly, some more markets are more saturated than others when it comes to inventory. It also depends on what price category or what unit category. Like, are you looking at a one-bedroom starter condo? Are you looking at a 2+1 that's over 1,200 square feet? Like, those two markets are behaving very, very differently. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing listings go up, which is unsurprising given where we are right now in state of real estate here in Toronto. So average prices, unsurprisingly, are down 4%. So, in the context of where these numbers are with volume and active listings, it's actually surprising that we're only, quote unquote, down 4%. Like, doing analysis for some clients in different pockets in Toronto, like there's some pockets that are actually down quite a bit more than 4% year over year. So, and again, it depends on the category of home that you're looking at. Is it a luxury home, over like 6 million, or are we talking about, a semi-detached in Leslieville? Like those two markets are behaving very, very differently. So while yes, the broader market is down, certain markets are stronger than others. So that's why it's really important to consult a professional such as ourselves to guide you through what's happening in many of the micro markets here in Toronto. Okay. So average price month over month is up 1.3%. Now let's not get the parade out and saying like we're here at the bottom for real estate prices, but we're actually up roughly 4% from the bottom in January. So, is this to say that we've hit the bottom and like prices are only going to go up? I don't know. It's way too early to call that. Now we have interest rate decision by the Bank of Canada in June. The market is predicting that we will see a 25 basis point cut. Will that help increase buyer confidence? Possibly. But, I think there's certainly a lot of unknowns. So once all these unknowns are by the wayside, one big one was the election, right? Like the election is now behind us. Are we seeing more confidence out there? Like, I'm recording this mid-May. So anecdotally, like we've seen a little bit of an uptick with sales volume. I can't say the market's back over a 2-week period. It's just, very difficult to actually make that comment. But, we are seeing activity pick up ever so slightly. So who knows? But my prediction is we're going to see a very active summer market. Like we're going to see more sales than we did last year this summer, like July, August. And that's gonna I think provide a little bit more of a benchmark to see what happens for the rest of the year. So I think we've seen we're seeing a delayed spring market, but what happens beyond that, I don't know. But it's certainly interesting to see that this is where we are right now in terms of snapshot, and that perhaps we found a local bottom, but way too early to tell that the prices are not going down further. And again, as I said earlier, like it really depends on what category you're in. Are you like a condo townhouse, or are you a freehold detached? Like, are you a 1-bedroom condo? Like, all those markets are very different. And again, it depends on where you are in Toronto, because certain pockets in Toronto right now, even despite this being very much a buyer's market, there are micro markets in the Toronto area that are performing very, very well, and versus others that are very much tilted towards buyers. So anyways, this is my snapshot for this month. So hopefully you found this information helpful. I'm actually really excited now to see what happens in the month of May, where these numbers for May 2025 land relative to 2024 May, because we've got the election behind us. It's one less unknown that's now known, and perhaps we'll start seeing a little bit more of the buyers coming off the sidelines to start transacting in real estate here in Toronto. Anyways, any questions, please reach us. We're always happy to discuss and help and answer any questions. We're loving the feedback that we're getting so far on these videos, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next month. Bye for now.